Hey guys, welcome back to Confessions with Cassidy. I, of course, am Cassidy, and I am so happy that you are here again this week. I'm so grateful that you've been enjoying the content that I've been putting out, and I am so happy to keep creating it. Before we start with this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you're feeling extra lovely, you can press that bell so you never miss one of my videos. As I've said before, I kind of started doing these how-tos as almost like a little diary about things that I wish I would have been able to learn and see while I was going through them. And this video would have been very important to me and have made my life a lot easier going into my most recent relationship. And this video is how to start fresh in a new relationship. That is so much easier said than done. At the end of the day, every relationship that you have is going to carry baggage with you into your next one, but it can definitely be a lot easier. It doesn't have to be so painful. It doesn't have to be so traumatic starting a new relationship. And I've come up with a couple helpful hints that definitely helped me in the long run, and I hope they can help you. So the first thing that I would say when starting a new relationship is you have to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is the most important thing while starting a new relationship. Forgiveness is the most important thing you can give yourself after a breakup and in turn starting a new relationship. If you're able to forgive all of your actions as well, if it's possible theirs, you are kind of already starting on a white, clean plate, which is what we're all kind of hoping for when starting a new relationship. And I think the most important thing with that is of finding forgiveness that you didn't waste your time. When you are in a relationship, you wanted to be in it at the time. And, it wasn't always bad. There was joy, there was excitement, and those are the memories that, at least for me, I kind of had to hold on to in order to find forgiveness. Because in my previous relationship, it was just there was so much anger and hatred surrounding it that it would have been so much easier to just not forgive him. And to be honest, originally I hadn't. When I started my relationship with my current partner, I hadn't forgiven myself for how I was behaving in my previous relationship or his behavior towards me. And it really made loving my partner and him loving me back so much more complicated. Because one, I didn't think I deserved love because my previous partner didn't love me. But, I had to find that forgiveness in order to open up to my new partner. And as soon as I was able to find that forgiveness and work through that, a whole new world opened up. And I was able to be happy with my new relationship because I wasn't being held back by my previous one. Every relationship that you've been in, there was a reason. I always say, people come into your life for a moment, a lifetime, or a reason. And it wasn't a lifetime relationship, and that's okay, because it wasn't supposed to be. Everything happens for a reason. I've got a bracelet that says that, and I think about that every single day. And that relationship happened for a reason. For example, I'm a completely different person now than I was when I was with my previous partner. And without him, I wouldn't have been able to fall deeper in love with myself because I had to learn how to love myself instead of being loved by him. And now I'm able to be in a relationship where I don't rely on somebody else to make me feel whole. And I wouldn't have learned that without him. And so I can be grateful for that time in my life. And I didn't waste time because the time that I did spend with him led me to be able to be who I am today. The second point that I'd always ask myself is, why did the previous relationship fail? Was it you? Was it your actions? Was it your partner's actions? Or were you both equally responsible? I think it's a really honest and important conversation you have to have with yourself in order to also, that first point, find forgiveness. If you cheated on your partner and now there's fear going into your next relationship that you could do that again, you have to forgive yourself for your actions. There's a reason why you did that, and you are able to forgive yourself. And if they cheated on you, you don't have to forgive their actions and the betrayal of the trust, but if you can't move past it, you will never be able to grow trust organically. Trust is also such an important thing, and for a lot of relationships, when they end, you kind of come to this crossroads of, my trust was broken because I trusted this relationship to, blossom. And when that doesn't happen, you lose trust in yourself to be a good partner, and you lose trust in other people to be a good partner to you. When a relationship ends, there's a reason for it. Something happened that has caused the relationship to fail. And that honest conversation that you can have with yourself of saying what went wrong is kind of the perfect recipe for figuring out how to make the next relationship work. If that had to do with trust, if that had to do with honesty, if that had to do with communication, there's so many reasons why a relationship can fail, and knowing why your previous relationship failed can really help you spot those patterns when they start happening again in your next relationship. And then you can kind of, nip that in the bud and be like, no, I want to fix that. Because maybe the behavior in the previous relationship wasn't lending to a healthy relationship on both sides. My third point would be just to remember that pain is temporary and you don't have to bring that pain into the next relationship. I personally don't think that you should even consider entering a new relationship before that healing process has happened. Because if you're bringing that pain and the trauma and all of the weight of a past relationship without having dealt with that and healed from that, you're starting a relationship, kind of with open wounds. And it's not somebody's responsibility to close those wounds for you. You have to kind of heal that heartbreak yourself. And, quite a few people, and I've done it in the past, there's that kind of saying of, I got over him by getting under him. And that never ends well. Very rarely. It's a temporary solution to, at the time, a permanent problem. And I think that's kind of what you have to remind yourself of. Every hurt and pain that you're going through in a breakup is temporary, and it will get easier, and time does heal. 1,000,000% time heals. And when you are ready and your skin isn't sensitive to touch anymore and your heart is open to love again, then you are ready for a new relationship. And then you can embrace all the beauty of a new relationship, all of that excitement of figuring out what they're about, and also who you are in this new relationship. But that is the most important point, is when you start a new relationship, you're kind of given this opportunity to just start again and be genuinely honest and true to who you are. I think a lot of us get into relationships quite young, and you like the person and you want to fit into this box that you believe that they will like, but it's not sustainable. I tried to be an athletic superstar. It wasn't sustainable. I pretended to be vegan one time. Not vegan. It wasn't sustainable. I tried to make myself fit into the mold of what I imagined that person wanted in a partner. When I met Philip, my fiance, I noticed that I was doing those same patterns when we first got together. And I remember just looking at him being like, this isn't me. I don't like this, and I want to be honest with you. And he was like, that's cool. Because he loved me for me, and he wanted to know what I liked. And him and I are complete opposites. And I love that I didn't have to, change myself to fit his agenda. We were able to be completely true to ourselves. And in doing that, I learned so much from him, and he learned so much from me. I always say, he brought my head down to earth and I brought his feet off the ground. And, it was such a beautiful thing that wouldn't have been able to happen if I wasn't true to who I actually am. So I would say, when you start a new relationship, is take that opportunity to just be authentically you. Because you don't have to be somebody else. And if they really, really love you, they'll love every ounce of the person you are. Even the stuff that annoys them, they still will love you for it. And I think that's just so freaking beautiful. And what an amazing opportunity that you get when you go into a next relationship. So that was this week's video. I hope these little tips and tricks can help you if you are going through a breakup or you're thinking of starting a new one. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help. I know I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist. I always say it, I'm just a 26-year-old girl with some life experience that I'm happy to share. I will see you guys next week. Make sure to like and subscribe, and until then, have a beautiful week.